Ho 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 guys, and welcome back to All the Mods 10. This one is going to be episode 31 and it's going to be the last one for 2024. So, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's. Me personally, I've been taking it a bit slow waking up late in the mornings cuz I have the time now. And speaking of time, I have something to fix, and thanks to the comments in the previous episode, I was rather helpfully reminded that the budding time crystal block is ticked via random tick. And if any of y'all remember what enhances the random tick rate, it's growth accelerators. So I'm just going to add this behind me. And while I'm at it, I might as well just put down the energy acceptor and a big old gate. And I'm hoping that with these all online, random music, hello? This is music from the Eternal Starlight, apparently. And although it's cool, I'm unsure about its copyright stuff, so I'm gonna turn it off. But I have been keeping track of all the random music I've been listening, and I do enjoy them. I bet there's a mob with a backpack somewhere that's got a music disc in it. That's alright though. And yeah, people were correct. This thing does in fact get ticked by the random ticks of the growth accelerators. Now, for thumbnail purposes, I did change this guy to be sensing the wrong block, just so I could force these crystals to grow and then put it in the overworld. I wonder what this is. This is supposed to be stage 1, yeah? Oh, this is what I did. I moved the render, I moved the sensing area all the way up there, so that seems about right. And then, if there's one budding time crystal at stage 0, send it to the overworld. Perfect. Oh, it's taken the generators with it. Is that really a problem, though? Now, can I not put more energy acceptors in the other spots? Maybe I can. Nah, I changed my mind about that. I'm just gonna have it do this, where it just swaps all of these around. And if I do this, it should just pull all of this away. And it does. Cool. That's that render, and that's render. Perfect. And also, I have now updated to modpack version 2.9 or 2.10, and a bunch of things have changed. A bunch of new quests have been added, and rather helpfully, the quest reward for killing the warden is a 2-minute potion of Aldemodium sites, so if you're having a tough time finding Aldemodium in the deep dark, that would be a rather helpful resource. And rather helpfully, we now have Chapter 4, which is the creative chapter, which shows us how to automate the various parts for the ATM star using star shards. And then also rather helpfully gives us a list of creative items that we can craft with our ATM stars. Like so, for example. Anyways, celebrations aside, it's about time I get into nature's aura. Because I really need to get to this part so I can get to this part so I can finally get fully automated Tritium for DT Fuel. And rather unfortunately, the only way to actually make sense of what's happening in nature's aura is to make the book of natural aura and follow through the instructions. And this thing right here is why I strongly dislike the way nature's aura handles progression. You see, most mods rely on progression that you work through to get better and better armors. For example, the armors behind me go from Inferium all the way to Supremium, or from Ferric Core all the way to Eclipse Alloy on the other side, or maybe even the leather to the chainmail to the diamond to the netherite. The same is true for the Aldemodium, Vibranium, and Obtanium. Nature's Aura, on the other hand, uses this book and locks your progress and forces you to complete this before you can go on and read about the other stuff. And it requires you to complete advancements to unlock the rest of the book. Now, unfortunately for us, the advancement system of Minecraft, although rather helpful, isn't always all that accurate. And that's definitely true for a bunch of these, because I can probably come up with a few examples where I have done these things and have not been sensed. Anyways, ranting aside, the first step into nature's aura happens to be getting brilliant fiber and then putting it on a tree to get gold leaves. And hey, I just noticed while deforesting an unsuspecting tree of all of its leaves that nature's aura happens to have quests, and I wonder what they look like actually, because I must have scrolled past it in the past, and I do remember seeing it. And this too actually seems fairly doable, because it does highlight all the steps you would need to take to eventually get here, And this is the process needed to get me the hand of flowing time, or whatever it's called. The hand of time, not the watch of flowing time. That is an old thing. If you know what that is, put it in the comments. But now with these fibers, what I've got to do is, I think, just hit one of these and probably infect a few of these with the brilliant fiber. And allegedly, with time comes brilliance. So, as you can see, every time I click these on, the texture changes, and the tooltip also tells me that these are golden leaves now. And as I've accelerated these, you can see that they're going ahead and infecting the leaves around them to be more and more brilliant. And I imagine once these are matured enough to harvest, I can just smack it with a sword, allegedly, according to the tooltip at least, and get me my golden leaves. Okay, even though the tooltip says I can use a sword, that gave me nothing, but shearing it gives me golden leaves. So I should now be... I don't want to vein mine this because of that. Also, it's saying time one entity briefly had me a little bit afraid. But hey, I should be golden now. I'll just leave this tree to do its thing while I figure out what to do with these leaves. And pressing U on the leaf suggests that I can just craft it into gold powder, which I do believe is also what the quest wants me to do. To make 16 gold powder, 8 wooden stands, which is even more gold leaves, so yay, more rating for me. And then grab a sapling and set it up in this sort of fashion here. This tooltip is really helpful, I promise. And talking of all of this nature stuff, I think the best place to set up a bunch of nature stuff is right next to all of my nuclear stuff. That makes sense. I'm just gonna put it here in this flat area. Probably fill in this tiny puddle. And after a little bit of waiting around, and waiting for that golden stuff to spread, I have the required gold powder, stands, and the saplings to make one of these. And fortunately, Nature's Aura blesses us with a visualize feature that lets me place this, let's just say right here. I just gotta fill this in. I believe I forgot to record what I did here. Basically, you craft a cork in a bottle, and then you just right-click the air, and you get bottled sunlight, which is a crafting ingredient that is used to get the token of joy. And the token of joy requires you to complete the ritual, which is in front of me right here. I'm gonna get rid of that in case it grows. Looking at the recipe, you need the bottled sunlight, a torch, a flower, a gold leaf, an iron ingot, and an apple. Alright, so leaf, flower, iron, apple, torch, sunlight, sapling in the middle, and you just bone meal this. I think that's how this was done. Right? Am I missing something because of shaders? What am I missing? Nope, even according to the book. You put down a sapling, must be placed in the middle, fertilizer of some kind. Its growth will cause the ritual to start. Well, it truly didn't start quite yet, so I must be missing something. Is it the order in which these are placed? Is that what's important here? I don't think so, but I'll try. Oh, it needs to be a small flower, not a tall flower. I can't use this rose, even though I have this automated. I have to use one of the little guys. I do have bone meal on me. Can I just... Yes, I can. I can just grab one of these. If I now replace this and then chop down this tree, I should then be able to retry. There it is. How does this look with shaders on? Let's see. Even better. It eats up all of the items, and then it should also eat up all of this. That's a bunch of things completed all at once. Here are the tokens of joy. And with this token of joy, and another gold leaf, and another ritual of the forest, I can get the natural altar. Okay, so if memory serves me right, 1 gold, 3 stone, 1 gold leaf, and 1 token of joy, along with an oak sapling in the middle here. And then I need to make this sort of shape with the dust in the corners connected up and out, like so. Yeah, and then bone meal. This should now work again and give me the natural altar. And here is the altar. And the quest tells me the materials required to get the altar up as a multi-block structure. And using the book, I can visualize what this thing looks like. I want to put it in the ground, like so. And now this bad boy is slowly absorbing up all of the aura around it, which is indicated by all of these particles, I guess. Next steps for me is to do that and wait for the iron to get infused and turn into infused iron, and then I got to do the same for gold. And that turns into tainted gold, both of which are used to make the Spirit of the Calling recipe, but what I'm missing is bottled ghosts, which I get in the nether. And just as I got bottled sunlight by right-clicking the air in the overworld, the nether gives me bottled ghosts. Now, to actually use this offering, I would need to make something called the offering table. One more infused thing, a couple more recipes. Yeah, I can manage this. Maybe I don't have a fish. I do have fish essence though, so I don't think that's a problem. Yeah. And here's the token of fear. I thought I timed this right. There it is. And this should be the token of sorrow. I just had to put in the appropriate items, that's all. Now we wait for a quick second. There it is. And now I can craft an offering table. Excellent. And I think this thing can go down right here. So put this in the middle, and now I need 36 flowers. That's a tall order. Okay, it's actually a few days later now. I ended up spending a little bit of time over Christmas with the family. You know how it is. I hope you all had a wonderful time too. But now I have this altar, and I was gonna make this offering to finally get this thing, right? Yeah, let's do that. And if the recipe is anything to be believed, I believe I need nether stars. I want to turn my magnet off though, because this involves me tossing items out. So I will throw down a bunch of nether stars, or do I right click them on the table? I right click them on the table. Alright, whatever, that's fine. And then I toss the Spirit of the Calling on top of these, like so. Indeed. And did that just eat my stuff, or... Oh, hey. Hand of time. In fact, a whole bunch of them now that I look at it. 15 hands of time. What is this used for? Just the one time counter, eh? Alright, no problem. This has been a long time coming. I have prepped up all of these materials well in advance. And that seems to be a new button, but I should now be able to hit that. This should be a valid structure, even though it hasn't used any hatches. And it has already put in the time counter. All I need is a energy input, chemical input, and a chemical output. Hell yeah. Another machine means another subnet, and this one is going to be connected to the perfect one. It goes to this guy right here. 31 of 32 channels. And hopefully very soon, 32 of 32 channels. Perfect. You're telling me my system has no lithium in it? That's a little bit strange. I could have sworn I had... Oh, that's liquid lithium. And how am I supposed to get this thing? I'm currently using this. There is a chemical oxidizer recipe. Cool. I could just make lithium bee combs, which comes from lithium bees, which are made with water bees and liquid lithium. Okay, I have a bunch of water bees. Give me a second. Lithium bees go in. And those combs obviously don't end up in the centrifuges, so I've had to edit this ever so slightly to where lithium comb blocks is part of the accepted outputs from the hives to the interface. I've also given it a space in my thing, and now I have a few thousand lithium comb blocks, which will go into a chemical oxidizer right there. And that in question is now in place. This one is taking lithium comb blocks and producing lithium every now and again, pretty much constantly. And this too is passively producing tritium using lithium, and this process is so fast that it just sort of zoops out 4096 tritium every chance it gets. Yep, there it is. And then this is also online, constantly processing, and I have accumulated 4,000 buckets of DT fuel. And the real reason for me setting up so much DT fuel was to fuel this guy with DT fuel instead of deuterium and tritium fuel. And I think I'm ready to make that swap. And all I needed to change was rip out the old wireless connector from there, put in the quantum entangler porter that's connected to that old tank of DT fuel, and it should have dumped all of its DT fuel right into here. Now, assuming the laser is fully charged up, which it is, I should just be able to grab a hologram, stick it in here, and then I believe all I really need to do is zoop it. This should now be running on DT Fuel. Perfect. Rather interestingly, I still do not have enough DT Fuel production to keep up with the big reactor over here. Realistically, I'm just hoping that this is a solution or a problem that just 8 extra chemical infusers completely maxed out can fix. Because it would suck to run out of DT fuel constantly. You know, this number steadily rising is proof enough to me that my system is currently working. And my system is rather janky once again. In the previous attempt at this, I had interfaces lining the back of these chemical infusers, and I had a extended export bus on that tank there to push all the DT fuel into it. Except I was not able to push DT fuel out of my system fast enough, and so I ended up in a situation where the fuel levels were still going down while these were stuck full of fuel, so the fuel genuinely had nowhere to go. The solution I came up with was just to, well, put power through the quantum entangled porters into the infuser and pull DT fuel from the infuser back into the entangled porter, and all of those are set to that supplemental channel. And that supplemental channel seems to be keeping everything afloat. Rather tragically though, it seems like I'm about to run out of deuterium any second now. And it's truly a shame, because I would have expected 2 of these to have been more than enough to, you know, at least work for a few machines, but I'm a little bit underwhelmed with how fast these machines work. At the very least, I feel like deuterium being produced 512 millibuckets every 20 ticks versus tritium being produced 4096 millibuckets every 5 ticks is a rather unfairly imbalanced equation in the favor of tritium here. And that sort of checks out, because even though it's nighttime right now, my tritium supply is still hovering around 140, and obviously it's going down. Rather interesting. I'll see what I can do about that. And so I've done what I do best. I complained to the people I know who can handle this situation, and I'm hoping it's in good hands right about now. And I have just received word that the situation is indeed in good hands. So to celebrate the end of this year and the end of this episode, I'm going to make myself the MekaSuit. Now the MekaSuit is another one of these armor sets that you can add upgrades to. And it's super overpowered as long as you have power to your person. And with the upgrades, you're pretty much indestructible. But it relies on the assumption that you have antimatter set up. And antimatter and polonium setup. But I don't exactly feel like making a whole set of unobtainium, but fortunately for me, I do believe I have unobtainium right there. So I'm just gonna yoink all of this, and then I should be able to just start crafting. And this is the advantage of having stuff set up in advance. I have been passively producing antimatter, and in fact I think I have 200 or so of it, 204. So there's not a chance that I could possibly run out of antimatter. And I also have recipes set up for all of these things. So yeah, that's being silly with the way induction cells are being crafted and used, but we'll get there eventually. And actually, while this ultimate induction cell is crafting up, I would like to make one of these. The modification station. This is the block that you need to use to add upgrades to your thing, just as the smithing table was to the Eclipse alloy stuff or the JDT armors. The modification station is to the mechanism suit, or the MekaSuit. Hold on, the full set. That doesn't seem right. The full set. Now, the modification station does require power. I've just given a gate in the back, and I'll put it on the other side, so it's symmetrical. All of my workstations in one place. You put the armor you're going to modify over here, and you put the upgrade over here, and it goes beep boop into the sky. And unfortunately, that does mean that I will have to take away this to put on this. The MekaSuit looks cool as hell. For the time being though, I would like to build the gravitational modulation unit. And that requires 2 jetpack units, 1 module base, which requires bronze nuggets. Fortunately for me, I have bronze. Can I make this now? I need module base, refined glowstone, and jetpacks. I should be able to make jetpacks really easily. Just a little bit of crafting. What is that sound? What is happening? Where is that sound even coming from? Oh, wait a minute. Is that a telephone booth? Oh, well, must be for me then. Hello? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Did it what now? Already? Well, that was fast. And they're saying that was easy. They just changed the number. Okay, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Cool, thanks for letting me know. Uh-huh. Yeah. You want me to say it back? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I love you too, I guess. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've just received fresh word that these machines have now been buffed as for the latest version of this mod pack, which I'm already playing in. How cool is that? The recipe time for deuterium has now gone down to 5 ticks and it's processing 2048 every 5 ticks. And that means that with a 16 times increase for that guy and a no change to the lithium to tritium production, these two now match that in terms of production rates. Because it's 32 times as fast, but only works half the time, so it's 16 times as fast. And that will mean that if all of this is working, well, it's not the right time. But yeah, look at that go. This should be pumping out deuterium. Excellent. Anyways, I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was making MekaSuit modules, right. And I needed refined glowstone for these, and I needed another jetpack, but I was missing an item. Yeah, one of those tanks. That's easy enough to make. I could then hit R for this, make another one of these, and then get myself the gravitational modulation unit. The gravitational modulation... The gravitational modulating unit. I got it eventually. And with your MekaSuit armor, if you press shift on a unit, it tells you what it goes on. So this one goes on the body armor. I'll put it here. And I have the gravitational modulating unit in my MekaSuit armor. So I should now just be able to press spacebar and fly. How cool is this? I'm now flying using the MekaSuit armor instead of my Eclipse alloy. So let's just make all of them. The radiation unit, the scimitar unit, nutritional injection unit, vision enhancement, inhalation purification, electrolytic breathing, the Geiger unit, the charge distribution unit, elytra unit, locomotive boosting units, gyroscopic stabilization, hydrostatic repulsor, motorized servo unit, times 5, 4 hydraulic propulsion units, 4 magnetic attraction units, 3 soul surfer units, and the energy units have been crafting away in the time I've been yapping. Now I get to experience the joy of putting these upgrades into each and every single one of these, slowly, one after the other. But after a little bit of organizing in my inventory, I should just be able to put all of the body armor ones in the body armor. And then take my pants and put all the pants one in the pants. And you get the idea. And even though the keybands are a little bit conflicting, because to modify my sprint boost, it's actually the J button. I can swap back and forth between the map, and holy crap, I'm so fast. I'm faster than the Eclipse alloy ever was, and I can even jump between my modules now. This thing's a little bit crazy, actually. Also, it's nice to finally have night vision that actually respects your shaders, because in the past I've had to turn my shaders off to experience night vision. Now, right, shaders are back. Now if I press V, I can actually experience shaders and have night vision at the same time. I still do like how the base looks like this though. All of that mood lighting makes a lot more sense when you have less light overall. Yeah, pretty cool. The astute among you, however, may have noticed that that thing is off once again, even with that being as fast as it is. And I think I'm going to automate the automatic turning on of this bad boy in the next episode. Unfortunately for you guys, that does mean that this video is now coming to an end. Real talk though, I have been taking it a little bit easy over Christmas break, and in all fairness, I feel like this video is going to be significantly delayed because of that. So, I'm sorry about that. But either way, this is going to be the last video of 2024, and I guess I'll see y'all next year. Peace out, everybody. Oh, and of course, Happy New Year's.